This woman asked this question in the 2X chromosome subreddit, and I have a feeling there are going to be a lot of blindsided men soon. She says, how many of you have a ton of women friends who are probably going to end up divorced after the kids are out of the house, or maybe even before? Real short post. She says, all my girlfriends who are married are seriously 1 foot out the door. I feel like there is a big cultural shift happening where women are just done with men. Any other women noticing that? Literally every woman friend has no desire for any relationship anymore after they divorce. So real short post, but it led to a lot of conversation in the comment section. And I want you to answer that question as well. Do you have women friends? Do you know women that are just about ready to bounce? Go ahead and answer in the comments. Spontaneous Nubs is not just waiting until the kids are grown. She says, 37, just had twins. Husband made an agreement with me that we'd give him game nights with friends. Those would be sacred as long as I got time to work. He gets game nights. She gets to work. She says, Q, 3 months later, he think he's slick by scheduling 4 game nights a week, where before it was only 1.5. He's not honored my work time and has suggested I quit. Him watching the babies for a few minutes while I clean or cook counts as my free time. Overnights don't count to him. Going grocery shopping counts as my free time. Sleeping counts as my free time. And he grinned when I told him he does so bad with the kids, it's easier to do it all on my own. He agreed that yes, it should be me doing it all and walked off like he'd won. My heart broke and I immediately fell out of love with him. He never remembers my birthdays or anything. He got me nothing for the holidays, and he's going to be so shocked when I just leave. He'll swear he never saw it coming. I signed a prenuptial and I'll happily walk away with nothing because it's easier than knowing every morning I wake up next to someone who thinks I'm worthless. I got divorce papers waiting, and I never thought it'd come to this in 10 years of marriage. So just that quickly, she fell out of love. And the thing is, people talk about, what did you talk about in the beginning? Vet better, blah, blah, blah. They had an agreement. He was doing 1.5 game nights. Then he moved it to 4. They just had babies. You don't know how people are going to be with babies until they come. And so now she's seeing and now she's acting because the person who you marry is not the person who you divorce. Nightmare Rain Souffle says, Nightmare in Souffle says, he does think he's won. In his mind, he has the look of a happy family and he doesn't have to do any real parenting. Good for you for not putting up with it anymore. Then she says, that smug look on his face gave me flashbacks to the girl that my ex cheated on me with. I was standing there gutted, raw, broken, and just lost while she had this smirk like she'd won. And I had no desire to fight for that cat turd, which really surprised him. The chick only wanted him because she got off on the drama. So once I was gone, and she tried a few times to get me angry or cry to others that I was being mean to her, and it failed. She was gone too. But yeah, that same gut-wrenching pain of being told how worthless you really are, it's like this horrible out-of-body experience, tunnel vision, where you go through all the stages of grief at once and end with acceptance. I grew up with a family that never did birthdays for me and forgot to buy holiday presents for me. He knew that hurt. And for a time, he did pretty good. And now it's the family gathered around opening up presents. And when it's my turn, they mysteriously can't find any gift, or someone last minute wrapped a package of Oreos and didn't realize they'd already been opened and eaten out of. He lasted long enough to get really comfortable and decided he didn't have to try anymore. Isn't that how it ends up being? They're like, cool, I'm in this thing. I'm good to go. I am Vladi says, for the love of God, please, I beg you, please have the prenup challenged. You contributed to the household. The money belongs to you. Get that money for your babies. A cat turd of a man like this is not going to use that money in a beneficial way for the children. Don't let him have it. Stiletto Panda says, twins were the catalyst for my divorce too. I would put up with selfish mistreatment for myself, but when it happened to my babies at all of our expense, I fell out of love instantly and started planning my exit. Here's the thing. They just don't get what they're doing when they think they've gotten away with making you do all the work. They're showing you that you don't need them when they act like that. They think they're slick and they think they've got it made and that you're being a sucker doing what you should be doing. But he's teaching you that you've got it overnights without him. You've got it during the day without him. You've got it without him. Once you realize that the work decreases after you dump the man child, it's all over. Good luck. I'm happier with just my kids than I ever was with him. JD says, so true. I learned this during my divorce. I was talking to my therapist and worried that I couldn't handle being a single mom. And he pointed out that I basically had been a single mom since I had the kids, since I did all the housework and almost all the childcare. Listen to this part. After I moved out, my ex's house somehow got infested with clothing eating moths, and all his wool sweaters got ruined. He still blamed it on me because I hadn't done my New Year's Day deep clean of the house before I moved out. How audacious to think that your ex is going to clean up the house before she moves out. Chili Oss at the bottom says you'll be a lot happier, 200 pounds less to carry around on your shoulders. Good for you, girl. I definitely wanted to get to this from Jess Songbird saying, my friends and I are artsy and musical types who married and had kids on the later side. I was 35 when I first met my husband. That seems to make partnerships with the wrong person less likely. It could still happen, y'all. It could still happen. But in general, men are not changing with the times. Women are more educated and have better careers now. They are contributing more to the household income, but have more work responsibilities. They need partners who are willing and able to do their fair share of domestic labor and parenting. But too many men still expect their female partners to do the lion's share of these responsibilities while also paying half of the bills. This part that I highlighted. Of course, you're going to grow to hate the person who leeches their leisure time from your bones. She says, of course, you're going to grow to hate the person who leeches their leisure time from your bones. So they are more than willing to take extra, to have extra, just so that you have nothing left. You have to do so much extra so they get some free time. That needed to be said. Of course, you're going to grow to hate the person who leeches their leisure time from your bones. She says, my husband is a high earner who pays 99% of the bills while still being more of an active dad than the average guy whose wife works full time. He cooks. He picks up after himself. It's easy to stay in love with someone who's an amazing husband and dad in a relationship where you are constantly thinking of what's good for each other. I would fall out of love with someone who doesn't actively take care of our child. Blitz Mama says, my ex left for a very young new wife. I will never get married again. I already raised my children and do not need to be a caretaker for a man child. Don't need a man to be happy. And this goes for all of my over 50 women friends. Moki Chan says, I'm 38. Most of the people who got married in our 20s are already divorced or not doing great. James Blonde says, yep, I got one married friend couple left. The rest of us are back to being single again. We're mostly in our 40s. Moki says, I never got married. Discovered I was aromantic and asexual in my early 30s, which answered many questions. It felt weird from feeling left behind because I can't form any emotions towards men. To wow, what the F happened to all the lovey-dovey people that I thought I was jealous. That thought I was jealous of them. So people were like, yeah, she really wants a man. She's jealous. And she's like, what happened to that? It Girl Ragdoll says 40 insane. I imagine a lot more of them will be divorcing in the next decade or so once the kids are grown and out. So I'm just putting that out there that multiple women are saying these similar things, and these dudes better get it together and start doing more in the household, participating more with their kids and all of that. But I want you to join the conversation. Let me know what you think. What are you seeing in your friends group and the women around you? Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And if you made it this far and you're not yet following me, go ahead and smash the follow button.